Hey everybody, welcome to Process and Service Enumeration. In this video, we're going to be back on Phyllis's workstation enumerating processes and services that could be running on her machine. That could include antivirus software, any programs she's running, basically what she's doing on her machine. This will be a good one. Let's jump right in. As I mentioned, we're running through every command. We're going to start at the top up here and we're going to zip through them all. Let's start with task list whack svc. We're actually going to use the sliver GUI for this one a little bit, so let's paste our command in here and we'll fire it off. So task list whack sv. By default, task list is going to show you processes on the target machine, but it can sometimes be useful to know the processes correlated with the individual services that launch them. Obviously, a service doesn't have to launch every process, but some of them do belong to services. And task list whack svc is going to link those for you. So let's scroll through our output here. You can see fast elm1. This does not have a service associated with it. You have your n/a there, but you can see some of the services here like svc host, service name here. And that's what I really want to draw your attention to. Seeing the process name svc host running on a computer doesn't necessarily tell you a lot because svc host can be used to launch a number of different activities on a machine. So you can see svc host here, svc host here. And honestly, it just continues repeating. Look at all these in a row. So having task list whack svc will give us a lot more information. You can see that this one has to do with OneDrive. You can see that this svc host actually correlates to something totally different. And you can actually pair this command with a service query command to show you even a little bit more information. So let's say this wu user right here. Let's go ahead. We'll do an sc.exe query wuauserv. We'll click execute. And boom, you can query a little bit more info about that specific service. So again, a really awesome command that pairs your processes with the services that potentially started them. Bouncing back to the RTFM here, this next one is cool. This next one is going to list out all the processes that are not systems. So this is going to list out specific user processes. So let's go ahead. We'll delete our command up here, paste in our new one, and click execute. Awesome. So we have all of our processes, but this is only showing processes a user is running. It's not going to kind of fill up the screen with system processes, which are important to list out, but maybe on their own. Maybe you just want to see specific user processes and see what the user's up to. So we can see here, Microsoft Edge. It looks like the user has their browser open right now. Scrolling up a bit, we have wordpad.exe. Looks like the user has a text file open. That tips my interest. Maybe I want to see what notepad they do have open, right? We're going to get to that a little bit later in the series. We can see regedit here, kind of like our previous example. We know they have the registry editor open and they're viewing all the different registry keys on the system. You have OneDrive, a couple more Microsoft Edge browser windows. And if you look closely, you can also get window title information, which can tell you more about a host. So looking over here, you can actually see with explorer.exe, it looks like the user's actively browsing Windows Defender Firewall. Now, I do want to point out, if you're running a red team assessment and you're running on someone's computer, you probably want to be careful what processes you kill. I would say for the most part, you only want to kill processes that you created. You don't want to kill individual user processes because they may catch you and see that you're there. But for the sake of demonstration, what should we kill? Let's take a look here. All right, I see right here, regedit.exe. Looks like it's PID number 4428. Let me enter that into our kill command here, regedit.exe. We're going to go ahead and fire that off, click execute. Boom, the process with PID 4428 has been terminated. Let's do another task list and we'll see if it's dead. So we'll type in here, task list, execute. And just doing a quick glance here, it looks like it successfully killed it. I don't see it running anymore. So if you need to kill processes, that's your command. Now the next command will also kill processes by process name. You're gonna see that in the RTFM quite a bit. You're gonna see multiple commands that do very similar things. And as a red team operator, it's always a good idea to have multiple tools in your toolbox. That way, if an admin locks down that taskkill.exe, you can use this wmit command to accomplish a similar functionality and kill processes. Remember, there are permissions at play here, so if you're a very basic user, you're not going to be able to kill privileged processes, but just keep that in mind. Now the next one's pretty cool. It displays processes with the executable path, the full path to the binary that's running as a process. So let's copy this one. We'll jump over to our GUI, and we'll go ahead and paste it in here and click execute. So now we have the full path of the binary that's running the individual process. Now I do want to show you why this can be really important to have. So if you look over here, you'll see fast elm. We know that's our malware running on our user computer. However, if someone was just looking at the process here, they may be wondering, what is this exe? What is fastelm.exe? And with the full path, they can see, oh, it's sitting on the user's desktop. That means the user probably downloaded something and ran it. They have control over this file. So either A, I need to follow up with them and ask what they're running, or B, this could be malware and they need to look into it further. So again, the executable name may not be the most descriptive, but if you show that full path, you may be able to correlate it with maybe an installation directory, so you can go find the piece of software that's actually running that executable, which then you can go Google and find out more info. Our next one here is actually a PowerShell command. So we're gonna have to prepend this with a few flags. I'm gonna show you how to do this one, and you can try to practice it on your own virtual machine. So let's do PowerShell.exe. We'll do tac command, and then we'll just paste it in and hit execute. This one's really cool. It's gonna show you the registered antivirus program with the specific computer. You can see here under display name, this computer is running kind of the default Windows Defender antivirus, which Windows Defender used to be kind of a joke, but nowadays it's actually really good. So if you're doing red team operations, I'm sure you've run into Windows Defender before and had to go find bypasses and other things, which honestly are becoming a lot more rare. This one's also a little unique. You'll see here in parentheses, prompts for password. To my knowledge, there's not an easy way to run this command once, include the password, and have it just execute. Typically, you run it, it's gonna ask you for your password, and then you have to type it in. So for this one, I'm gonna put it down in the corner. Let's grab our Windows attack virtual machine, and then we'll try the command here since it does prompt for that password. Let's go ahead, do run as whack user. I'm not gonna do a domain user. I wanna use a local user, so I'm just gonna leave that blank. We're gonna go straight to the username here. Then I need to provide it the program. We're gonna do C Windows System32 notepad.exe. That should pop us up a little window so we know it works. Hit enter. As we expected, it prompts us for the password here, so we're gonna do password. Awesome, we got our notepad, and we can even further make sure it's what we expect. If we open up our task manager here, you'll see that it's running as user Vagrant. So that worked perfectly. Our run as ran that notepad as another user. I don't necessarily run that command in operations a ton, mainly because it is prompting you for that password, but it does come in handy if you're trying to run a program as another user, maybe on your local attack machine. Next up, we have one of my favorite just quick searches. So let's go ahead, copy this one, and I'll show you what it's all about. Let's paste it in here. This one's really cool. It's actually gonna run a task list and then pipe that output to a find. So you can actually have it run an entire process list and then just pull out the lines that match a specific search string. So because we're doing piping, let's make sure we have cmd.exe waxc here. And this is gonna do our task list verbose. It's gonna pipe it to find string and then match on a specific string. So we're gonna give it fast. If you'll remember, our malware is running as fast elm, so this should process an entire process list and then just return the lines that match fast. And by default, it is case sensitive, so keep that in mind. Let's click execute. Awesome, and here we go. Did our full process list and only return the lines matching fast. You can operate so much quicker that way. Rather than looking through an entire huge process list, you can just have it pull out what you're interested in. Another one of my favorites here, wmic command line. Let's get this thing loaded in here and click execute. This command is going to grab processes and grab all the command line arguments that are used to start that process. So instead of getting just the executable, you can see a lot more detail. Let's take a look at what we have here. I mean, right off the bat, even this PowerShell command right here doesn't necessarily look very normal, so that may tip you off that there's something more going on. That's probably one of the PowerShell commands I ran. A lot of times, malware and other tools, they're not just gonna run a base program. They add in a lot of weird arguments, usually bypassing things and stuff like that. But being able to see arguments will definitely allow you to take a much deeper look at not only the programs running, but what they're running and how they're running. And then lastly, we have our SC query. This should return all the services that are currently set to run on this machine. And boom, we have all the services that are currently configured for this machine. It'll show processes currently running as well as those that are stopped. Again, you're going to be pouring through here, seeing what software is running on the machine. Does it have any vulnerabilities associated with it? Does it have any ramifications to what you're doing on the machine? Is it running some antivirus you need to be running from, right? It's going to catch you on the machine. Well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of awesome tools for your toolbox than this one. Make sure you run it on all your different machines. You should be good to run the majority of these commands on some lab machine you control. It shouldn't break it or anything. Definitely run the commands, see what software is running, and get out to Google and see if it's vulnerable.